This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 386 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show. The Year of the Listener starts with Rhonda. Please support our sponsors as they make the shows possible.
Our sponsors this week are Bed in a Box and Uncle Jimmy's. A big announcement involving the Stable Scoop Show for 2016 is coming up. Rachel Pellison with her fitness tip of the month. And we get all boxy in the Tack and Habit segment. Listen in.
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. They bring you the news through hail or high water, while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, cause it's time again for Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
This is Glenn the Geek.
This is Helena B., and you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, Helena, I am so excited to be here. This is your first show of the year. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. It feels good to be launching a new year with you.
9 years, Helena. We're in our 9th year.
No, that's a big number. 8 was like big, but 9 is kind of out of control.
Yeah, we're almost at 10. I mean, geez.
I know. 10 might even be easier than 9. 9 somehow really, I don't know, it carries the weight of the time that's passed.
Well, that won't be a problem at all, because we are going to mix it up a little this year. We're not even going to make you wait for the announcement. We're going to talk to you about it right now. We thought, we've been doing this a long time. Stable Scoop is the flagship show of the Horse Radio Network. It was the first show that we did, and it's kind of always been the flagship or the bedrock show, if I can use that term, to use a Flintstone term.
We should go more with Flintstones. I like the Flintstones.
So it's been more of the show that's just always been there, right? And it's been you and I since day one.
Yep.
And we, us floundering our way through on weeks that we didn't know who the guest was going to be till about 2 minutes before. And then other times, Helena and I were both extremely organized, and we'd be scheduled for 2 months. But, we've had some fascinating guests and done some amazing things over the last 8 years. But we thought it was time to change it up a little bit this year and try something new and different, and that I bet you only about 5 podcasts have done on any topic in the world ever. I know of one other that has done this, and they were kind of a closed group, so it was kind of their own internal thing. Mm-hmm. And what we're talking about is just changing the format a bit for this year, and we are calling it the Year of the Listener. When Helena and I first started, Helena, what's one of the first things I told you that I believe?
That you believe that, Horse Radio Network could be truly a community for horse enthusiasts of all kinds. You really wanted to get people involved.
And that everybody that is involved in that community, all the listeners, everybody has a story, right? That we all have a story, an amazing story of how we got from where we are to where we were to where we are now. And, in our case, it involves horses. But I just totally believe, and I know you do too, we've had this discussion many times, that our listeners are so full of good stories. It's our job to get those stories out and to tell those stories. Well, that's what this year is about. It's the Year of the Listener. So that means for 52 weeks this year, for all the shows for 2016, our main guest is going to be a listener of ours. You're going to
it's already popular, and we've not even had the show's barely underway, or the year's barely underway, and people are excited about it already. And I love the fact that you say that everybody has a story, that our listeners have a story, and sometimes that story is funny. I mean, we all have plenty of funny stories. Sometimes they're inspiring, sometimes they're sad, but they're always full of passion and authenticity. And I think that's what makes this particular segment so popular already, is that people want to hear real stuff. Our fans want to hear real stuff. There's enough polished slick out there. We can get that anywhere we go. But this is the down and dirty. This is the gritty stuff that we experience on a daily basis. Some of it, like I said, some of it's good, some of it's not so good, but it's real. And that, I think, is important to our listeners. It's important to you and me.
Definitely. And I know listeners, when we've had listener highlights on before, we always get comments. Listeners love hearing about other listeners.
Yeah. We like to be connected to each other.
And we want you to be part of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep some of what we have done before. So the show's going to run like this every week this year. We're going to have our feature of the month. That's our first segment. Well, first of all, we're going to start off with an Our Thoughts segment that Helena. One of the things that people like is you and I just chit-chatting about topics of the day, and sometimes we don't get to those because we have so many guests lined up for the show.
True.
So we're gonna make it a point to get to our thoughts on different topics at the beginning of every show, just for a couple minutes, and then we're going to go into the feature of the month. Explain to people what that is.
So each week we're going to feature something unique for the month, but under a specific category. So the categories we've chosen are equestrian health and wellness, and our feature guest is going to be Rachel Pellison, who is a registered dietitian. You'll hear more about her later in the show because she's on today. But she covers a broad spectrum of health and wellness topics that are specific to horse people. And so we're going to focus on that. Once a month, you're going to hear from Rachel. The other thing you guys have been banging on our door about is more fox hunting segments.
Yeah.
So
we've heard that a lot.
Once a month, we are going to have a fox hunting guest on, whether that is a member of the staff, a member of the field, someone who's written a book, someone who breeds fox hunting, field hunters, whatever it may be, it's going to be specific to fox hunting. I know, by the way, can I throw in tease next week's show? We got a good one for you next week, all the way from Ireland, where fox hunting over there makes us look like we're just taking a stroll in the woods. I know. They make fox hunting look sexy.
Yeah. It sounds sexy too, actually.
I know. When you see
the hounds all bark with an accent.
The Irish those videos, and they're going over these ditches. I'm like, oh my God, that's so hot. Oh my God, he totally took a digger. That's so hot. And then we have two other segments, and in typical Helena style, she's forgotten what the other two segments are.
There'll be a surprise. We have to hold some surprises out. So okay, fine. Fine. I'm not going to look up my show notes, but there's two other segments. They will be just as exciting. One of them has to do with history. Yes. I have always wanted to do, I can talk about that a little bit. Now
okay.
You got me going. I've always wanted to do a horses and history segment. I'm a big history nut, but we thought about doing a separate show called Horses and History that would just come out whenever, but it would be just a history segment and going over famous horses or not so famous or infamous horses in history. And it was too much work. I couldn't take the time to do it, but I do want to take the time to doing one segment a month, and that probably will be pre-recorded. And it'll be researched. Either you or I will do it, and we'll just pick one horse, in the past, whether it's 100, 200 years ago, or maybe Caesar's horse from, Roman times, who knows? But we're going to pick a horse, and we're going to talk about it and really do a kind of in-depth history segment on it. We've done those in the past, and people have liked them too. So that'll be kind of fun for us to just play with a little bit.
And it's a great segment for our younger listeners who might still be in school and need some inspiration for topics for their history or social studies classes. We can give them a little bit of information on horses and history, and then they can go back to their desks or their homes and, do a little research on it.
So that segment will be the first our first segment, 5-10 minutes long, and then we'll be doing the listener interview. The listener will be our guest, our main guest every week on the show for this year. And I think you're going to like it. We have some surprises for the people who are going to be on. And if any of you have ever watched Inside the Actors Studio, by the way, the host of Inside the Actors Studio, James Lipton, is also a horse guy, was a horse guy for years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a horse guy for years. So
can we get him on? I want to get him on.
I've tried to in the past. I can't get through his people. And he's kind of retired now, so he's not doing as much anymore.
Then he's got free time on his hands. And Who has people after you retire?
So he does a segment at the end of every one of his interviews with famous celebrities where he does rapid fire questions. Well, we have our own version of that for every one of the listeners that's going to be on this year. And then we're still going to do our Tack and Habit segment. Helena and I could not do a show without talking about products. It's just,
oh my God, it's our favorite.
It's our favorite thing we do. We go to Ada. We talk about products. We grew up in this horse world selling product, so both of us. So it's just a passion of ours. So it's always going to be in the show.
And screaming at the products that don't work and like telling all our friends about the ones that do. Yeah, we're addicted to horse stuff.
So that's always going to be here. We're never giving that up.
And we have one.
And we don't care if you even listen to it. We like doing it.
It's true. It's true. And you know what? Since I did find my list,
yes.
The other segment, which I think will be a lot of fun, a little bit of an eye candy dreaming type of thing, or not, is the real estate segment of the month. We're going to feature an equestrian property of the month. Yes, some of them are out there. Some of them are well out of our price range, but my goal is to find farms that actually are in the average person's price range. We all have that dream of having our horses at home, or at least most of us do. And we're going to try and find some properties that are across the United States and feature one every month. So we hope you'll enjoy that, because I know Glenn and I do too.
Well, let's get started. Right after this word from Uncle Jimmy's, we're going to have our first feature of the month, and that's our health and wellness, where I spend 10 minutes feeling guilty for doing nothing about my health and wellness. So, good. We'll be back.
Hello, folks. Uncle Jimmy here, and welcome to the world of Uncle Jimmy brand products, where funny names mean serious products. Featuring Uncle Jimmy's Squeezy Buns, the squeezably soft hand treat that your horse will love. The award-winning Uncle Jimmy's Hangin' Balls, Uncle Jimmy's Sugar-Free Ball, the incredible Licky Thing, also in sugar-free, the amazing Uncle Jimmy's Pecker-Wrecker, and the Big Licky. The infamous Uncle Jimmy Hangin' Ball was first designed by me for my own horses to help reduce the bad habits which come from stall boredom. It now can be found around the world. This nutritious, flavored-filled boredom buster will help keep your horses occupied and happy around the clock. Properly hung, it will last for weeks, provided you don't let your horse pin it, and Uncle Jimmy knows who you are. The ball comes in 4 flavors: apple, carrot, peppermint, molasses, and now sugar-free. Once again, welcome to the world of Uncle Jimmy's brand products, where funny names mean serious products, and satisfaction is 100% guaranteed.
Up next, we have health and wellness expert Rachel Pellison of Healing the Hungry Soul. She's a registered dietitian, nutritionist, certified Pilates instructor, and a lifelong equestrian. Healing the Hungry Soul is her private practice, which offers health and wellness support for equestrians, as well as individuals who are not afflicted by the horse bug. Prior to starting her own practice, Rachel worked as a dietitian and clinical manager in hospitals in New York and Massachusetts. She holds certifications in weight management, health coaching, pediatric nutrition, and nutrition support. In her monthly segment on wellness for equestrians, Rachel joins us today to give us a wellness tip and a fitness tip. So welcome back, Rachel.
Hello.
All right, Glenn. We've said this before we started taping. This is a guilt-free zone. So just enjoy the conversation the way you would enjoy a good meal.
Should I get my wife's weights and be lifting them while I'm listening to her?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
You should be relaxing.
Okay, all right, good. I'm good at that, Rachel.
Wellness,
that's one thing I'm accomplished at right there.
Relaxing. That's half the battle, because most of us, I eat like a freakazoid because I'm stressed. See, you're halfway to wellness because you figured out how to eliminate stress.
If only more of us could be the stressed exercisers instead of the stressed eaters.
I know.
No, Glenn, we just need less stressed people. That's what we really
need. Yeah, you're probably right, Rachel. Okay, I'll give you that one. 2 points for you.
All right.
So what do you have for us this month?
All right, we're going to talk about nutrition today. And we're going to talk about one of maybe a controversial topic, and that is how dieting can actually cause weight gain when what you're trying to do is lose weight.
I'm
Mhm.
listening. I'm all
You're
ears.
listening. So part of the reason that this came up for me this week is that you may have heard in the media that Oprah bought a chunk of Weight Watchers. And there's been a little bit of talk about it. I think some people are upset because they feel like Oprah is going to start promoting this whole dieting industry and Weight Watchers is going to make a ton of money. Oprah's going to make a ton of money. But is it really what's good for people? And does it help people actually lose weight and get healthier? So my opinion is that it doesn't actually help people lose weight or get healthier. The average person, if they sign on to Weight Watchers, will do the program for a while and then they'll purchase another program at least 2 more times. So repeat customers, right? Because they go on the diet, they lose some weight, then they gain some weight back, maybe even more. They go back on the diet, and the kind of this yo-yo effect starts where you're gaining, losing, gaining, back and forth. And so what happens is you kind of get into this cycle of over dieting and under eating. Which, how do you feel when you under eat and over diet?
Miserable.
Yeah.
Mad at the
I'm hungry.
world.
Mad at the world.
Yeah.
Hungry,
swear a lot.
cranky.
Yeah. Hangry.
Actually, your swearing came up earlier today, Helena.
Oh, crap.
You mentioned that.
They know you really well. Poor Neil, our editor, just has to bleep her all the time. No,
I swear it came up. Oh, my God.
Busted.
Totally.
All right, so we get in this pattern of over dieting and under eating, and you're feeling crummy, and your body is feeling crummy. And so what happens is the body gets like freaked out. It's like, we're not eating enough. Maybe we're going into some sort of famine or whatever's happening. So the body will slow down the metabolism because it's afraid that you're in a starvation state. And that helps the body to hold on to fat, and then it's going to burn less calories. And at the same time, it's going to also increase your appetite because it doesn't want you to lose too much weight. So you get into kind of this slowed metabolism state, which is not good for us. And it makes you feel lethargic and sluggish, and it's kind of a bummer. It's not an energy producing state. So my solution here is, instead of dieting and trying to lose weight that way, we want to focus on nourishing the body. And so what do I mean by nourishing?
Stop tricking it.
Or start tricking it, something like that. And not tricking it, you're right. So I like to encourage people to start adding foods to the diet instead of restricting.
Let me back up for a second. Hey, can I back up for 1 second? So as I'm processing what you just said, the reason the word tricking came to mind is because when you do diet and you restrict your calories, in a sense, you are tricking your body into losing weight, into losing weight. But your body kind of fights back, is what you're saying. So you can say, all right, body, I want you to get rid of some of this extra fat. So therefore, I'm going to burn some calories, eat less, pretend like it's okay. And your body's like, yeah, no, it's not really okay. Mm-mm. Whatever it is that you're doing is not in my best interest. So it's kind of going to fight back. So yes, it feels like you're tricking it. And then your body, you're saying, is fighting back. So in order to stop this warfare between your mind and your body, you're saying, let's focus on nourishing.
Yes, that was a good synopsis.
Okay. Yeah.
You've heard me talk about this before.
I have, yes. And you see, I actually pay attention to what you say.
I know. I like that.
When she's not swearing at you, apparently.
Thanks a lot, man. And you guys wonder why I swear. You bait me right into it. And me, the idiot, takes the bait every freaking time.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Sorry.
Yes. So you kind of get into this like restriction. And so, how long can you really fight your hunger?
Couple of days, maybe.
Yeah, a few days, maybe a week, but eventually your body is going to override because your body has complete and total control, and your mind, it's kind of weak. So eventually if you try to restrict and do this dieting thing, then your body it's going to override your appetite. And so you essentially kind of set yourself up for binging.
Yep.
So a lot of people will eat really healthy all day and have like a salad and just a few things, and then in the evening, like, you go buck wild at dinner because you've been restricting all day. So I hear that a lot. So to nix this kind of restricting and calorie cutting idea, I like to talk about nourishing the body. So that means giving your body the most nutrient dense foods. It's going to give you all the vitamins and minerals you need to support your metabolism. Just puts your body in a happy place where it's not going to get into that starvation state and hold on to fat and slow down the metabolism. Everything's going to start working a lot more optimally, and then the body will have no fears, essentially, of releasing that fat that's on the body.
Okay. All right. So it's getting what it needs.
Yeah.
And it's not holding on to its extra stores in case of an emergency.
Yes, it's getting the nourishment it needs.
Okay.
So the most nutrient dense foods that are really going to promote that state are
Potato chips? Please say potato chips. Say potato chips.
No, I can't say potato
Oh,
chips.
damn.
But you can have a potato. I'm a big proponent of the potato.
Oh,
Okay.
good, because I like potatoes in any way, shape, or form.
But the most nutrient dense foods, the best ones, are going to be dark leafy greens.
Okay.
That would be kale, spinach, Swiss chard, collard greens, any of those things. Berries, mushrooms, onions, and beans and seeds.
Okay. So green leafies, berries, mushrooms, onions, leaves, and seeds. Seeds like nuts and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Beans, nuts, and seeds. Like sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, black
Mm.
beans, white beans, pinto beans, any kind of beans.
What about other kinds of proteins like meats?
Meats are healthy in their own way, but they're not the most nutrient dense foods. So we're looking at foods that are going to provide you essentially the most bang for your buck as far as it comes to vitamins, minerals, things like that.
Yeah, but if all I'm eating is kale and nuts, I'm going to be hungry in about an hour.
This is true. I do not want you to only eat kale and nuts.
Okay, good.
But these are the kind of foods you want to try and incorporate into your diet every week. So every week when you go shopping, buy a big bunch of kale, buy mushrooms to put in your soup or as your side dish with dinner. Try to add more beans in, have seeds for a snack. And then you're also going to have all your other healthy foods like whole grains, proteins, dairy, all that stuff will still be included. But these are the kind of foods you want to have all the time as the foundation of your diet.
So these are the ones that will satisfy your body so you're not fighting with it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So when you do eat those other things, they're not as problematic because your body is already biologically satisfied with what it's getting from the greens and the nuts and stuff.
Yes, exactly. So the body can tell you, it just gives you the message it's hungry.
Okay. So when your body is satisfied with these good foods, these nutrients, then the other foods that you eat are not so problematic.
Yeah, exactly. If the foundation of your diet is nutrient dense foods, then you can squeeze in a brownie or a cupcake or some potato chips, whatever you like. So the idea is make the foundation good, and then there's room to enjoy those other foods.
And enjoy we will.
Yes.
You know, the other thing, too, I found that has worked most effectively for me over the years, and it's not my current diet, which is no sugar, no gluten because of my Lyme disease, but it's just I started cutting basically in half. Instead of eating American quantities, I went toward more eating the same foods I did before. No change in the foods I was eating before, but I just cut the quantity in like a quarter or half. Down to normal people's quantities instead of extra hungry me quantities, and boy, I lost weight immediately doing that. It just was decreasing the calories, not what I was eating.
Yeah.
Well, you don't forget too, no sugar, no gluten.
Well, that was even before that,
Yeah.
and even now that I've been that and I'm sure Rachel can attest to this, because my body is now used to no sugar, no gluten, you'll gain weight again. Once your body gets used to that and you lose the initial weight that you're going to lose, which can be substantial when you go on a diet like this, your body kind of gets used to it. And then the calories, I don't know, they readjust, your body readjusts and you start to gain weight again, even though I'm not eating any sugar or gluten. You'll start to gain a little bit of weight again. And that's because I noticed I was eating more of what I could eat.
Well, so this is what happens. Your body establishes this set point. It wants you to be at a certain weight. So if you go on kind of a diet for a while, you'll lose that weight, and then your body's going to go, I want you back at that previous weight. That's the weight I have chosen. So it will increase your appetite. It will slow down your metabolism, and it'll bring you right back where it wants you to be. So
I was sort of right. It basically adjusts to its new norm.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's I've attended one of Rachel's presentations that focused entirely on that set point. So I think that would be a great topic for another of her segments, because that is it's a fascinating discussion. And she actually had us chart out our weight gains and losses over the course of, almost a lifetime. And it was really an interesting look back on that particular weight point, that set point. So I think we should definitely make that a topic for future discussion.
Yeah.
But if you could, so let's just sum up today's advice.
Yes. So I want people to approach food not from a restrictive point and a dieting point of view, and you have to cut these things out, a negative perspective. I want you to think about start nourishing the body, adding these positive, healthy, nutrient-dense foods, the dark leafy greens, fruits, veggies, mushrooms, berries, onions, beans, and seeds, and start feeling like you're adding that to your diet, you're nourishing the body, you're feeling good about it, and then some of those not so good habits or not so good foods will kind of start to fall away. You'll start to crave them less. So I'm all about adding the positives and forget about any negative or restriction.
And what's your website, Rachel?
My website is rachelpellison.com.
Very good.
And you can also find me on Facebook, Healing the Hungry Soul. Healing
the Hungry Soul on Facebook, or Rachel Pellison, Pelisson. Look forward to talking to you again next month, and I'll be 20 pounds lighter.
All right.
Not me. I'm going to be 2 pounds lighter because I'm going to follow her advice.
Bye, Rachel. Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel.
Bye-bye.
Well, right after this word from our new friends at Bed in a Box, my favorite mattress company of all time, sleep on one every single night, we are going to start our new 2016 Year of the Listener with none other than Rhonda Crabtree. And there was no other choice. We had to start with her, and I'll tell you why right after this.
Welcome to bedinabox.com, where you'll find the most comfortable, pressure-relieving memory foam mattress at only 1/3 the cost of the leading brands. We have created an exclusive memory foam that sleeps cooler, rebounds quicker, and cradles your body in pain-relieving comfort better than other types of memory foams. Introducing our new memory foam technology. By swirl infusing gel into our advanced memory foam, we have created an even cooler, more comfortable sleeping surface. Best of all, it's made right here in the USA.
He had been dealing with back pain and chiropractor visits for a while, so we decided it was probably time to find a new mattress.
So we started doing some research on memory foam mattresses and found bedinabox.com. We were on a trip with some friends, and they actually had a bed-in-a-box mattress in their camper. And on their recommendation, we decided to get one for ourselves.
They got it to us in no time. We had no problem adjusting, and we were thrilled with the comfort. In fact, my husband doesn't have to get up early anymore due to back pain. He can lie in bed for as long as he likes without any discomfort. We recommend Bed in a Box to anyone who has back problems or just needs a good night's rest.
We believe we have created the world's best memory foam mattress. Using independent, accredited labs, we have tested our mattresses against the industry leaders to ensure comfort and durability. Test results show our mattresses relieve pressure better than the more expensive ones found in retail stores. Buying a mattress over the internet may seem risky. That's why we offer a 120-day zero-risk return policy. You get a full 100% refund if you're not satisfied. No hidden fees and no return shipping charges, and we back them with a 20-year warranty. Sound too good to be true? Don't take our word for it. Read what real customers are writing about us on Facebook, Twitter, viewpoints.com, and other third-party review sites. We are dedicated to quality and service. We offer fast, free shipping to the contiguous U.S. Your mattress will arrive conveniently packaged and will be ready to sleep on within minutes. With the benefits of the leading brand mattresses, but at 1/3 the cost, why wait? Start getting the best sleep of your life. Call, chat, or email one of our friendly customer care agents to learn why 99% of our customers sleep better and toss and turn less on their new bed-in-a-box mattress.
It is the year of the listener. And now, our Stable Scoop listener of the week.
Well, we didn't have any choice, Helena, when we started the year of the listener in 2016 on this episode with none other than Rhonda Crabtree. And the reason we had to start with her is she is the only person in the entire world, including all of us, me and Jennifer and Helena and everybody, that has listened to every episode of every show we've ever produced from day one 9 years ago.
Wow.
She's the only one. So we had to start with her. First of all, congratulations, Rhonda, for not being in the nut house right now and actually having some sanity left. I didn't tell you this, Helena, but Rhonda said to me when we made the announcement about the Radiothon, the 12 hours live, she said, "Are you trying to kill me?"
I think she might have actually put that in writing somewhere. She was so concerned.
You made it through. You even liked it, Rhonda. See?
She did.
I did like it.
Rhonda's name has been such a part of the Horse Radio family for so long. Honestly, Rhonda, I didn't know if you were a listener or an employee. I was like, yeah, that's Rhonda. I don't really know what she does, but she must be pretty cool because she's everywhere.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, Rhonda,
so you're family.
Yeah, you're part of. She definitely is family. And actually, we've met Rhonda. Tell everybody your husband's name.
Jason.
And we met Rhonda and Jason a couple times at Disney World, and we had dinners. They brought us dinner the one night. It was a whole lot of fun, and we've just had a great time meeting them every time they come down here. But we're going to learn more about Rhonda, so let's find out. First, Rhonda, tell everybody what you do for a living.
I'm an accountant, financial analyst.
Do you work for yourself or for a big company?
For Kubota Canada.
Oh, the tractor people?
Yes, orange
cool.
tractors.
Oh, I love Kubotas. Always wanted to own a Kubota.
She's just like her like she's rock star. She's like over rock star. She's legend.
I think everybody wants to own a Kubota just because they're a cool color. It's like...
she does financial stuff for Kubota. Rhonda, you're way cooler than me.
And your husband, what's he do?
He is also an accountant, but he works for the Ontario government.
We have two accountants that live together and actually survive.
Well, they have stuff to talk about.
We might be a bit boring.
Never.
And of course, you have to tell everybody, do you have a horse?
I do have a horse, Obi, as in Obi-Wan. Very popular right now.
Oh my God, I am so uncool. Rhonda, how did I not know? We're best friends. Can we be best friends?
Yes, definitely.
What kind of horse is he?
He is a Hanoverian thoroughbred quarter horse cross.
Oh, wow. That's a neat combination, actually.
I'm just going to go onto the bus and stay there. She just keeps getting cooler and cooler.
Well, what you forget, Helena, is she does know you as a best friend because she's listened to you go through a lot of things over the last 9 years.
Rhonda, let me just say that I'm really sorry. I did not take the time to get to know you better before today.
Well, we've chatted a few times.
I know, but
Rhonda has even been at our house here at the studios and met Scooter.
I did.
Yeah.
I got to meet Scooter and Beaker and Glory and the Beast.
Right. And the Beast.
And the Beast. Isn't the Beast awesome?
Yes.
I know. When he's not scratching your eyes out.
Now, Rhonda also has a couple of doggies of her own. Tell us about your puppies.
I have 3 dogs. I have Panda and London are boxer lab crosses, and they're 11. So we thought we'd better continue the Crabtree doggyism. So we got Splash, named after Splash Mountain, And she is 10 months old and she's crazy. And I didn't believe Jamie when she talked about having puppies and how crazy it was, because it had been 11 years, but now I remember.
Yeah, puppies are challenging. That's the reason why we like getting greyhounds, is because most of the time when you rescue them, they're adults. So you don't have to go through that eat everything in your house puppy stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's kind of stopped eating everything, but she just won't stop moving. She doesn't have an off button.
I'm kind of like that.
Yeah, Helena's like that. I was just going to say that.
So where do you keep all your critters, and what do you do with them? I know, obviously, besides chasing your puppy around, what do you do with your horse, and where are you? What part of the country do you live in?
I am near Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
So you're in Canada.
I'm in Canada.
Okay.
And I board my horse, so at least I don't have to worry about feeding him and everything, because the dogs are enough. We have a cat as well, Elvis.
Elvis. Oh my gosh, she's got the best names for her horses. And cats and dogs.
So, and I'm lucky I'm able to take the dogs to the barn with me as long as it's not too cold for them, because with the boxer coats, they can get pretty cold.
Yeah.
But I did just get Panda a new back on track blanket, and she loves it.
Oh, good.
Throw
Very
that
nice.
in there.
Yeah, thank you for the plug.
Did you get the black on track blanket just because for its warmth, or because it's sort of health purposes?
A little bit of both, actually, because she's the one who's stiff. If we go on a hack the next day, she'll be a little stiff when she gets up. So, and she had just a regular blanket, and I thought, oh, she needs another blanket under that. And I was going to get just like one of those Rambo doggy ones. And then I saw that one, and I thought, oh, this should be better for her, because maybe she won't be so stiff.
She's 11, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's their joints are going to start to hurt, and especially when they've been bouncing around. Is she the boxer?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and I know. I mean, my experience with boxers is they have a lot of energy, and so they're going to put their joints to good use during their youth. So I'd imagine at 11,
definitely,
she's happy to have her back on track. Oh, what a nice mama you are!
Yeah.
And you're a dressage rider, right?
I am. Or I try.
And how has that gone, and how far have you come with your dressage career?
Well, I feel like I've come a really long way, but I'm at second level, because that is really hard to do.
Yes, it is.
I've had my horse for 10 years, and I thought I was doing dressage before that, but I really kind of wasn't. So I've learned a lot on him. I've had my coach get on him and train him, and teach him collection and things that I couldn't necessarily teach him myself as an accountant. And then I get on and try and do what she's able to do easily on him, and he kind of says, "You're not doing it right." He's a good teacher.
What kind of
teacher?
What kind of brain does he have? Does he have a thoroughbred, warm blood, or quarter horse brain?
I would say warm blood. He's very, very laid back, great hack horse, not spooky. I mean, can spook. All horses can spook, but he's not spooky. He sometimes says, "Oh, I'm not going to do that unless you make me." And I think that's the warm blood, where he's like, even when we went to bring him home, it took 45 minutes to get him on the trailer, because he wasn't scared. He wasn't freaking out. He was just standing on the ramp going, "I don't really know you." So
he had an opinion.
Yeah.
He had an opinion,
but,
yeah.
But he's not dangerous. He just kind of stands there and says, "No, you're going to have to make me." Or keep asking. So
do you have a goal in mind where you want to go with him, or are you just kind of playing it as it goes?
Well, I'm trying to get to third level. He has learned his changes. I'm having trouble with them. He does them easily for my coach, and actually another girl got on him and he did them easily for her. So, but she was younger. She was 25. So I'm in my 40s and my hips don't move like they should. So, I asked him to do it, and he says, "Oh, that wasn't quite right, or you were too stiff." And he might do it and throw in a little croup high, or he might just say, "Nope, you're not doing it right. I'm not going to do it." And we're kind of working through that.
Boy, he is a great teacher. I just got this sense of, as you're describing it, I can actually imagine you in the saddle, in the arena, and your brain working on this. It's so hard when you've seen someone else do it and get your horse to do these things so beautifully, and then you're up there and there's all kinds of moving parts and then
so many moving parts.
Right. And you're simultaneously frustrated with your inability to get your horse to do this, but at the same time, totally admiring him for forcing you to do it the right way. It's such an interesting relationship that we love. I just got the sense of you being in that spot.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am. That I appreciate that he doesn't just do it, because then when I get on another horse and I'm not doing it right, I'm going to look stupid when I can't get them to do it. So yeah, and if I over cue for the canter, he kicks out and says, "Nope, that was too hard, Mommy."
Yeah.
And yeah, so he's a great teacher.
So do you board? You board, right?
I board, yeah.
And would you like to have him at home someday, or you like boarding?
I don't know, honestly, because we've been looking at farms and we've been thinking about having him at home, but then of course you need another one, and then you need another one in case one leaves. And then you can't go to Florida all the time when you want to.
Yeah, that's another thing about her and Jason is they are Disney. They make Jennifer and I look like we don't like Disney World. They are Disney fanatics. They have the timeshares there. They've been on the cruises. These two are Disney freaks. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're right. We like our Disney.
Yeah, I think she has a Mickey pillow. I really do. She probably does.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And you know what? If Jason gets me too much trouble, he's out, Mickey's in. So
What do you like about Disney? What keeps you coming back?
I think it's a little bit, we just like the product. Like, we know what we're going to get. We know that we enjoy it. It's always fun. It allows, and we don't even have kids.
No, you're like us, no kids.
You don't need them.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need them. Not when you can enjoy Disney all by yourself.
Our saying was that Disney World's wasted on children. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Unless you go there with Grace and you see her whole face like light up with hearts and unicorns and kittens and stuff.
So we go with my niece and nephews sometimes, and then we get to see the whole kid side of it.
Yeah.
But then the next time we go, we want to just go us and just do what we want to do.
Well, we've had some fun times with you at Disney over the years now, and that has been a lot of fun. We're actually heading down. One of our other friends said, "I'm going to be at Disney next week," so we're heading back to Disney next week to meet them down there.
Tough life, Glenn.
Yeah. A couple other things here, too, I wanted to ask you about. Let's talk a little bit about, and then we'll go into our final rapid-fire questions at the end here. But I wanted to ask you, how did you find us in the first place? Because basically, when you started listening, it was Helena and I and about 5 listeners. And so nobody was finding us. How did you find us?
There was an email went out from the WEG people, because I had signed up for their emails, and at the bottom of it there was something about your 2010 podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I could listen to a podcast about this. I could learn so much. So I started listening to that, and then I'm guessing that on that you mentioned Stable Scoop, or maybe I just went in and found Stable Scoop. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But anyway, and when I start a podcast, I always go right back to the beginning and listen, because I need to know why, like, I need to know the in-jokes and everything, why they're saying what they're saying. So.
I love that.
You know, and we did. That was back when we only had 2 shows. Samantha and I were doing the WEG show for 2010, and it was Helena and I. That was it. That was pretty much all there was at the very beginning.
Yeah. That's right. There was WEG and Scoop.
I'd still be catching up.
And you, I know you're a big podcast listener overall. You listen to Disney podcast. We talk about them sometimes. We listen to the same ones. So I know you're a big podcast listener. What do you think the future of podcasting is going to be? I mean, we think that it's finally turning a corner and becoming more mainstream. Do you see that with your friends, or what do you think?
I think with my younger friends, yes. With my friends my own age and older, they just look at me like I've got two heads when I say podcast.
Mm.
And they might have the equipment, but they're not willing to use it yet. Although I had one friend say to me the other day, because we got her on BBM on her phone, and she said, okay, now that I've figured that out, maybe you can show me how I listen to these horse shows.
Yay, Rhonda! One at a time, Rhonda.
One at a time. I've got one other friend that does listen to podcasts, but my husband listens constantly.
Yeah, he's forced, by the way, Helena, to listen to us when they're in the car. And I've heard about it a few times. So
I think he secretly likes it, though, because I'll say, what do you want me to put on? And he says, well, if you have any horse ones that you have to get caught up on, we could listen to those.
He's just being nice to you. He doesn't want to be on the couch that night. Well, Rhonda, I got to tell you, we just love the fact that you're our one. We count on you. You're the only one we know about that's listened since the beginning. I'm probably number 2, and I have not listened to every episode of every show because Jennifer edits some and does some, and so good on you, girl. And I apologize, but it looks like we're going to have to do another radiothon because it was so popular. So,
just don't do like Lou and make it 40 hours.
No, I think 12 was good. I think that was plenty. But we have, just like, I don't know if any of our listeners have watched Inside the Actor's Studio. I don't know if you have or not, Rhonda, but it's done at a college, and there's this guy. He must be 90 by now. I think he's about 90. He just sits around and interviews the biggest actors in the world, and he talks about acting as an art and as a medium. And one of the things he does at the end, it's the most popular segment, and he's been doing this for 10 years, is the rapid fire questions he gets. And we're not going to discuss these. We're just going to ask them, and you give us your answers. And we're going to ask the same questions each time. So as the year goes along, you can hear how people answer them differently. It's just kind of fun. So Helena, do you want to do the honors? Or do you want me to?
Love to.
All right.
I would love to, but well, there's you got a lot of questions.
Yep, we're just going to ask them all. Just ask them in a row, and she'll answer them.
Okay, all right. So Rhonda, Glenn came up with most of these.
I had a little help from Jennifer, so
Please don't hold that against me. But here we go. Okay, ready?
Okay. Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Fish and chips.
What's your least favorite food?
everything else.
What was it?
Sorry. Vegetables.
Vegetables. Oh, you need to listen to our wellness episode.
Yeah, you're not going to like the beginning of this episode.
What is your biggest equestrian pet peeve?
I think when people don't put their horses away properly, when they just kind of come in and take the saddle off and don't take care with them.
Don't brush them down or hose them or whatever.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite professional equestrian?
I'm going to say my coach, Joanne Ballas.
Yay for you.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
What profession other than yours or horses would you like to attempt?
Maybe a travel agent.
Oh, yeah. Cool factor through the roof. If you won $1 million, where would you go on your first trip?
I think Ireland.
Good choice.
Fox hunting, I hope.
With us, I hope. On your dime. You're paying.
With us, I hope. What is your favorite celebratory word or phrase?
Awesome.
Awesome. What is the most terrifying thing you've ever done, and would you do it again?
I think recently climbing the rock climbing wall on the Royal Caribbean ship. And yes, I would do it again, and I'm going on another one in February 2017.
Ooh, all right. We're going to want pictures. We're going to need to play by play.
No, I just want to go along.
Well, let's just book her now because we can live.
Did you win the
vicariously
lottery,
through
by the
Rhonda.
way? Oh, no, you didn't. No, so
Did you win?
That didn't work.
All right, 2 more. If you could have just one superpower hero, what would it be?
I'd want to fly.
Good choice.
Flying. Okay. And all right, let's imagine for a minute you are a horse and you had Mr. Ed Powers. And you could answer just one question. What would that question be?
Let me rephrase that. If your
Yeah.
horse had if you could ask your horse, we need to rephrase this question.
No. You need to learn grammar.
No,
because
this
you
was
have an
Jennifer's
apostrophe
question.
R
This was
E.
Jennifer's question.
Well,
If
it doesn't
you,
matter.
if
Whoever
your
typed it
horse
in,
was
typed it in wrong.
if your horse was Mr. Ed and you could ask him one question, what would you ask him?
I would ask him, what else could I do to make him happy?
What a good answer.
Aw.
Yay, let's end on that. Rhonda, thank
Yeah,
you.
let's talk a minute about that apostrophe.
Thank you so much, Rhonda, for joining us. We really appreciate it. And I cannot tell you how much we love the fact that you are our only legacy listener.
I'm still surprised that I am. There's got to be somebody. I'm putting the challenge out there.
Well, you're the only one who'd own up to it. Let's put it
Yeah. Everybody else is embarrassed.
And I have to say, I grabbed a photo from your Facebook page. It's your cover photo where you are cantering through the surf on.
Oh,
a bay.
yeah.
And I'm
Yes.
assuming that's your horse.
No, that's not my horse.
Okay.
That was in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Well, I think that's a really that is an absolute free, beautiful, fun moment. You have this smile on your face. You just feel the contentment in your soul at that moment. So we're going to use that as the photograph for today's show.
Okay.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Okay, thank you. Talk
All
to you
right.
later.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. This Tack and Habit segment is sponsored by my very own company, Sparkle and Boom. Find your sparkle, get some boom. We do creative but practical marketing for the small business owner. If you've got a lot of business on your hands and not enough time, check out our website, sparkleandboom.com. We can help you promote your business, provide better customer service, and get rid of some of those headaches of yours. Sparkleandboom.com, creative, practical marketing for small businesses.
Very good. And you picked the product this week, and I'm kind of curious why, because I don't even think you own a cowboy hat.
I do own a cowboy hat.
You do?
I do, yes.
Oh, okay.
I own a black suede cowboy hat with a braided band.
Oh, you
around
have to
it.
bring it down with you when you come down in February, by the way, then, because
And
that's
it'll
kind of
fit.
our trademark at these
Okay.
podcasting events. So
Okay. All right. Cool. I'll bring my cowboy goth.
there you go. So tell us what you picked.
So I picked this week. It's actually, where'd it go? Oh, I'm in the wrong show notes because we were ahead a week. Hang on a second. I picked a hat box. Actually, it's designed specifically for Western hats, for cowboy hats. This one is made by Sheplers, and it's a plastic box that has a handle on it, and it's got those little clippy things. I don't know what you call them. There's probably a
Snaps
name.
or whatever.
Snaps
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever that hold it closed. But it's primarily for traveling with your hat, so it doesn't get crushed and beat
Which,
up.
by the way, is a problem because when I have traveled with my cowboy hat, which is it's not one of the flexible soft ones, it's one of the stiff ones.
Right.
There's no place to put it. If you put it in the overhead, somebody's going to throw their luggage in there and crush it. If you put it in your luggage, it's going to get crushed. So I always end up holding the damn thing for 3 hours on the plane.
Right on your lap, and it just
Yeah.
gets.
I'm ordering one of these, by the way.
It gets ruined. It totally gets ruined. Now I have hats. I have quite a few hats of different kinds. I have a cowboy hat. I have, felt hats and derbies and all kinds of interesting stuff. And I really like to bring them. So, like, if I'm going to a hound show, I really like to wear my fancy hat. My garden party hat. So what I found is. And the old days, like you could go around with a hat box, so that's fine too. They're like they're made out of like cardboard, stiff cardboard, but your hat boxes, they don't latch closed. At least the old ones don't. So and they can get beat up, especially if you're traveling by air or train or even in the car. You've got, like, obviously we're horse people, so there's always some kind of something in our car that doesn't belong there, a saddle, like an extra bale of hay, something. So this protects it from all kinds of damage. It has a handle, you can carry it. It's got latches so it stays closed. And the other thing too is I don't know where to store my hats at home. So I tend to put them on a shelf in the back of my closet.
That's where
when they
mine
get
is.
Dusty. They get dusty.
They do.
And so, and if you have like for mine, my black cowboy hat, which is made of suede, it really shows the dust.
Yeah.
So these hat cans, as they're called, I think does a great job of protecting them all around. And for $34, $35, it's really worth it.
And these are light too. I've seen these before, and they're very light. They're not real heavy like some of them are.
Yep.
And that's important when you're traveling because, weight matters. So I love this idea. I told you I'm getting one because I have 2 cowboy hats now. And every time I go to the podcasting things, I'm known for the only guy there with the cowboy hat.
Yep.
Even though I'm a faker. But they don't. But see, the other non-horsey people don't know I'm a faker. Right.
Okay.
So I can
Glenn,
get away with it.
Glenn, part of being a faker involves not telling people you're faking.
Oh, is owning it.
See, this is where my marketing expertise comes in. This is a little PR moment here, Glenn.
Okay.
As Daniel Stewart, our Horse Radio Network expert,
psychologist,
sports psychology expert says, fake it till you make it.
Yep.
But don't advertise that.
Why do you think I'm still doing these shows 9 years later? I love this. And it comes, I hope it comes in something other than pink that you have the picture of.
It comes in pink, black, and teal.
Okay, good. Because I really don't want the pink one.
I'm totally getting the hot pink one, though.
Well, thank you, Helena. That's a good pick and timely because I needed one. So good job. And those hats ain't cheap. I just bought a second one and it was almost $100.
No,
and you can pay thousands of dollars for cowboy hats.
Yep.
We're fakers, so we only pay $100. But the real guys like the Mary Kitzmillers of the world, they pay hundreds and thousands. So, yeah, not us. We're just faking it. Well, that's great. Sheplers.com. That's it for this week. We hope you liked the new format. We hope you enjoyed our first interview with legacy listener Rhonda and that you got a little bit out of our talk about health and wellness. And next week, we have something very special you're not going to want to miss, the fox hunting segment next week. It's going to be a blast, and we'll have another listener coming up for you next week. One thing I did want to mention is if you would like to be on our show, if you're a listener, you have a story to tell, which we know you do, and we're easy to get along with. It's recorded. It's not live. It's all good.
It's all good.
Send it to, how about we have them email you, Helena@horseradionetwork.com.
Bring it on. I would love to hear from you guys. Let's get you on the show.
We'll get you booked up. We have a whole year to fill, so definitely get that in. I have a funny thing real quick here. It just happened on the Auditor Facebook page, which is a closed group for our auditors. If you want to see how to become one for as little as $1 a month, head on over to stablescoop.com. There's a big banner in the middle of the page there. One auditor by the name of Ken, who's very active in there, one of our guy auditors, said he posted a picture of a girl in a onesie, looked like pajama onesie with it's pink onesie with little sheep all over it.
Yeah.
And then the horse has a matching onesie with little sheep all over it. And Ken posted, I would pay to see fashion diva Helena show up like this to her next fox hunt. I think the hunt masters would die. And then Jerry, our other guy listener, said as long as it was in the right colors, I bet she could pull it off. And I mean, who's really brave enough to argue with her anyway? God, they know you.
Oh my God! You know what? I'm totally going to start a crowdfunding campaign so that I can buy a trailer to get me and my horse's butt to a hunt.
Yeah, there you go. Start one.
I'll tell you what. You guys get me a trailer. I don't care.
You'll wear the onesie.
It could be, honest to goodness, if you guys find a way to get me a trailer, it could just be a little 2-horse stock. I don't care. I will show up with the onesie.
And you'll wear it for the hunt?
Yes, I will.
We'll have a full seat sewn on it for you, okay?
That's fun. Or, I could just use that like tack and grip. Remember, or saddle tight.
Yeah, saddle tight. Just spray the whole thing with it.
I know. I might need to like cut the feet off so that they could fit into my boots. But that's the only modification I'd be willing to
see the fun you're missing. Our auditors have a great time in their Facebook page, so check it out. Go to our website and take a look at that. All right, you did the new show notes, so it looks like you have the closing line to start with.
I have. Well, I kind of do. For details about today's show, go to stablescoop.com. But did you know that you can get the HRN app on your iOS or your Android phone? Yep, you can. Just search for Horse Radio Network in the App Store. It's free and super easy to use.
Be sure to log in next Friday for another episode of Stable Scoop and another listener to take a listen to. We really love your feedback. Join us on Facebook, follow our tweets, or even better, become an auditor, as we talked about. Many thanks to this week's sponsors. And of course, this week we had Uncle Jimmy's brand products. I know Scooter loves Uncle Jimmy's. And then we also had Bed in a Box. I love Bed in a Box.
My horses like Uncle Jimmy's too. I didn't think that they'd be fans of the licky thing, but man, they sucked that down like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah. That's candy for horses.
It is candy. Be sure to visit all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network. You can find them at horseradionetwork.com. Are we done now, Glenn?
That's it. I'm done.
Well, at least there will be more. If Helena can get through the super cool new closing, there will be
I knew you couldn't do it.
Shoot. Damn. Ah! Until then, happy scooping, my friends.